What is going on, guys? It is Cabal Culture Smasher here. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we have our good old friend, Mr. Pedro Pascal. Mr. Losers in 1865 and Losers in 2020. Mr. He, Him. Mr. Fantastic.
Say that again?
And now Mr. Woke, as we have always known for a good while. Man, this guy, you absolutely know that he has sold his soul to the Hollywood machine. Because the way it works in Hollywood is, in order to advance to a certain level in your career, and in order to keep getting put into certain projects, you kind of have to be a freak. And you kind of have to do like the little rituals that Hollywood makes you do in order to be among one of them, right? We know that Pedro Pascal is kind of a strange guy. The way he dresses, the way he talks about gender, all that nonsense, and of course the fact that he has attacked the fans over and over and over again while he is employed at Disney, and yet Gina Carano gets fired for what she has to say, which was not even close to anything that Pedro has had to say. Well, now we have another instance of Pedro Pascal attacking half the country. In this case, in the promotion for his new movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone entitled Eddington. Have any of you even heard of this woke movie? Like, I haven't. It's probably one of those Oscar bait movies that is a really slow, boring, just contrived plot, but yet all the critics love it, because we've seen that from Hollywood time and again, where the average audience has just never heard or even seen this movie, right? We have Pedro Pascal here, sitting next to Joaquin Phoenix, who looked very uncomfortable in his little press conference at the Cannes Film Festival, where Pedro Pascal essentially ran his mouth because that's what he likes to do, and in this case, this movie he's making is TDS on steroids. So I suppose that everything about what he said here fit him perfectly, right? This is what he truly believes in. The guy is arrogant. The guy is not grateful for all the opportunities he's been given. He thinks that he has the power to lecture half the country when the man is a multimillionaire, and actually thinks that he understands what average people go through. Well, let's just take a look at what he had to say, shall we?
So keep telling the stories and keep expressing yourself and keep fighting to be who you are. And I don't know, fuck the people that try to make you scared, you know, and fight back. I mean, it's obviously very scary for an actor who participated in a movie to sort of speak to issues like this. I want people to be safe and to be protected, and I want very much to live on the right side of history. And I'm an immigrant. My parents are refugees from Chile. I myself was a refugee. We fled a dictatorship, and I was privileged enough to grow up in the U.S. And after asylum in Denmark. And if it weren't for that, I don't know what would have happened to us. And so I stand by those protections.
So that little woke rant of his is not to be unexpected. However, the movie that he and these other starring names, Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone, made, this movie is probably peak woke. One of those really, really, really woke films, because it's made about the COVID-19 pandemic and the beginnings of it. And it's made about a group of people who protests the COVID vaccine and protests mask mandates while some people try to enforce it. It's literally a film about COVID and the American people's response to the pandemic, which basically dates this film, which means that nobody is going to care. Nobody 10 years from now is going to care about this movie, and nobody in the future will care about this movie ever, because this is made to be as woke as possible. Let's take a look at what the Vanity Fair has to say about this film, shall we? Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal's Eddington skewers a divided America and promptly divides Cannes. Nobody can agree on what is real anymore, director Ari Aster says of the big theme behind his star-studded Cannes premiere. Turns out this extends to the conversation about his movie too. You never know when Friday's world premiere crowd of Eddington was going to laugh. This was surely expected on the part of writer-director Ari Aster, whose film unflinchingly dives into the extremities of the immediate post-COVID movement in the United States. His portrait of that unsettling period ranges from broadly silly to agonizingly specific, and while not every international audience member was bound to recognize every reference in every given scene, the debates over masks, racial injustice, and the police corruption are very specific to its milieu. The movie's generally discomforting informed much of the reaction too. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you think, Asher said with a smirk after the film ended to a respectful standing ovation. I don't know. On Saturday, Astor was joined at a press conference by his cast, Joaquin Phoenix, who plays an anti-mask town sheriff in May of 2020, Pedro Pascal, the mayor, and his primary adversary, Emma Stone, Phoenix's character's alarmist wife, and more. I wanted to show what it feels like to live in a world where nobody can agree on what is real anymore, Astor said behind his colleagues. I wanted to make a film about what America felt like at that time, and it felt bad. I am very worried. We need to re-engage with each other. That's the only hope. It's inevitably ironic, then, that Eddington has already sparked spirited debates among crowds on the Crozet, in busy waiting areas around the Palais, and at cocktail parties. It's a movie people can't stop talking about, even if they don't always seem to enjoy talking about it. I fantasize about there having been a time during which a film like this might have come out and divided audiences, and it would have made people excited to go to the theater in order to determine how they felt themselves, as opposed to just people hearing, oh, the response is all over the board. So I'm not going to bother, Asher told me of Bo in 2023. I was hoping that the draw of a debate would be greater. So yeah, Pedro Pascal is going to do what Pedro Pascal does best. Piss off the fans, divide them, and become the top dog because he basically has become an untouchable in Hollywood. So as long as he continues to give over his soul. Guys, Hollywood, as you know, will never change. They despise your guts. Honestly, as the years go on, people used to say, right, that you could separate the art from the artist. It's actually becoming harder and harder to do that every day. Because now, whenever I see Pedro Pascal in a performance, I just see Pedro Pascal. I don't see the character anymore, with the exception of The Mandalorian, because we didn't actually have to look at Pedro Pascal's face all that much. It's amazing to me how people like him continue to demonstrate just the sheer hypocrisy that they can say whatever they want. But if any conservative said even anything remotely close to what these guys in Hollywood have had to say, they would be out of a job so quick, blacklisted from the industry, they would never work again, right? But they get to do whatever they want because, well, they control the narrative. And brainwashed people continue to worship guys like this for who knows what reasons. I mean, I don't really have to go too far into specifics. You guys already know that by this point. It just continues to amaze me, though, that Hollywood will make the same mistakes again and again and again and again, and their movies continue to literally lose them hundreds of millions of dollars with every single blockbuster flop. It seems that basically the only main talent named left in Hollywood who does not attack the audience has been Tom Cruise. As you guys know, Final Reckoning comes out on Thursday, and I'm going to be seeing that. I will react to that here before the channel so that I can give you guys the review. I hope it's great. I hope it sticks to landing because Tom Cruise is basically the only hope that the industry has left, which is kind of crazy because Tom Cruise is literally a psycho with this little Scientology cult, and yet he has more common sense than Pedro Pascal in never attack your paying customer. But anyway, guys, that was the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this matter. Did this bother you at all? Does Pedro Pascal just continue to give you Pedro Pascal fatigue and you feel turned off to watching his movies? Or do you not really care? Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you like this video, why don't you guys consider leaving a like and subscribing? It always helps the channel. I will hope to see you guys in the next one. And I'll see you guys back here on Thursday to Friday for my Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning review. I'll see you then, guys.